Good morning and welcome everyone to 1 Million Cups. We meet every single Wednesday and we're thrilled to have you here with us. We are live on Facebook. Please make sure we are all muted. And if we go to the next slide, that would be fantastic. 1 Million Cups is part of the Kauffman Foundation, a national organization focused on entrepreneurship and education. There are over 120 chapters in the US, and they're all meeting at 9 o'clock on Wednesday, which is why we say we have a million cups, all sorts of coffee. Next slide.
So it's a broad.
As I said, it is a national and local mission. So we work at the national level. We have organizers that we meet with regionally who roll up to the national space. So there's lots of volunteer folks, including our organizers, helping to make sure we come together each week for presentations, not pitches. We are all about authentic connections. So networking as a word is frowned upon because it seems transactional. We're all about relationship building. It's run for the community, by the community. So entrepreneurs helping entrepreneurs. And we are radically and intentionally inclusive. I believe we have some visitors today. If you would raise your hand, either electronically or wave frantically. I can see everybody on Zoom. Hi, Jen, would you go ahead and unmute yourself and introduce yourself? And for folks who are introducing, just your name, company name, and how you heard about us.
My name is Janda Hall, Janda Hall Guitar Prof. And, I teach a number of musical instruments, including banjo, guitar, ukulele, and mandolin. I've been at Fox's Music for over 20 years. And I found out about it through the Fairfax Chamber of Commerce, this meeting, through the Fairfax Chamber of Commerce.
Well, we've got some musically inclined folks in the room. You can talk with John Rudenberg later and jam out with him. Thrilled to have you here. Thank you for joining us this morning. Anybody else want to raise their hand and introduce themselves? If you are new, I see a lot of familiar faces, which is super exciting. All right, let's keep going to the next slide. Just as a reminder for folks in the room, do leverage chat. Introduce yourself in chat, your name, your company, your contact info, how we can help, what you're looking for. That is what we are all about. Next slide. One of the things we do, since we are reporting back to a national organization, is we track our attendance and our engagement. This allows us to give repeat attendees swag and presenters swag. So for a presenter today, Mike, make sure you see us in person so you can get your swag. If you scan the QR code and just check in real quickly, that will make sure that you not only get swag, but also get our weekly email for what's coming up with links to our YouTube presenter video from the week prior. So do check in if you can. Thrilled to have you here again. This is all volunteer driven. You can see the people who are up to shenanigans on the left, all of our organizers. It takes a village. We all work with and coach our presenters. So if you are interested in presenting and you apply, we help you through that whole process. Our goal is to make this easy, but we are doing the social media, the email, creating events for us to attend. So if you have questions, reach out to an organizer. We're happy to talk with you and help you. Even if you just need help with your business, just reach out. We're here for you. And again, thanks to the Central Fairfax Chamber of Commerce and Jennifer Rose. They always promote our business on their website. And as you can see, Jan, the most interesting person in the room, I think, joined us today from that. So thank you. Next slide. We do have a space sponsor and a location sponsor. So what I would love to do is talk to Mason Enterprise Center, and I'm going to ask Rudenberg to talk to 48 Blocks Fine Candy when we get there. Our location sponsor is Mason Enterprise Center. They're in Eaton Place, right off of 66. We meet there the first Wednesday of every month. It's a hybrid meeting, so we have this virtual meeting as well, but we're also in person. This month, we actually had one of our presenters bring a robot and zoom around the room. I've been told he will be programmed to bring us coffee in this upcoming Wednesday meeting in May. So if you want to see that, join us in person. We'll do some video too, so if you're virtual, you'll still be able to see it. But Mason Enterprise, not only do they provide a great space for us, they provide space for business owners. They have over 100 businesses who have physical offices there. They also are virtual members. But what's unique about MEC is they provide dedicated programming and dedicated mentors. They have over 20 mentors from HR to accounting to legal to franchise, you name it. They have got someone there to help your business grow. They are over 90% capacity. So if you're interested in having a space you can drop into, check it out as a virtual member. If you're interested in having an office space or space for team meetings, board meetings, etc., do reach out and talk with Eddie Hill. You can see the website on the screen, mec-fairfax.org. They are just a fantastic partner. With that, turning it over to the sweetest guy to talk about the sweetest business. And I am talking about John Rudenberg. Y'all probably were like, who are you talking about? John Rudenberg, take it away.
Because I like to eat, I got the job of standing in for Amy Hughes, one of our organizers who owns 48 Blocks Fine Candy, a manufacturer, distributor, and retailer of fine candies, specializing in marshmallows, but she has many types and varieties of marshmallows and other candies. For all of us, if you have graduation gifts to give, go online to her website. If in fact you know companies who need corporate gifts, make an introduction. Her physical plant is in Tyson's Corner. You can visit her. She manufactures there. She does pop-up weekend or maybe Tuesday or Thursday programs with a coffee brewer scheduled at different times. If you know someone who'd be another allied professional with whom she could do a pop-up, that would be a great intro for Amy Hughes, the owner of 40 Blocks Fine Candy. So when you need gifts, think of Amy. Back to you, Jen.
That was such a great sponsor, space sponsor ad, John Rudenberg. She should pay for that in fruit fudge or marshmallows. So for folks who are new, or if you have been here in the past, just a quick reminder how our meetings work. We have a 10-minute presentation time period. So Mike will present for 10 minutes today about Bright Horizon. Then we will have a moderator, which I believe will be John Rittenberg, and he will facilitate Q&A. When you want to ask a question, raise your hand. When you're done, put yourself back on mute. The key to this, to make sure we get Mike as much help as we can, is to keep our answers and questions relatively concise. So one of us may step in and say, thank you so much for your input if you're talking too long. So just keep that in mind. The other thing is, if you don't want to put yourself unmuted and talk, you can drop a question or a thought in chat. We do try to capture all of ideas in chat. So for Mike, but also for others who might want to present, we give you a recording of all of this, all of the chat notes, and actually a report afterwards to give you a sense of takeaways. We want for Mike to be able to fully focus on people who are asking questions so he can chime in and give insights and really just get the most out of today. So in just a second, I'm going to hand it over to you, Mike, but that is how our meetings work. We'll start wrapping up around 9:55. So with Brighter Horizon, I'm going to hand it over to Mike. Welcome. We're thrilled to have you here.
Thank you, Jen. Hi, how's everybody doing? My name is Mike Souls, founder of Brighter Horizon. Today we will be talking about agriculture, greenhouses, automation, irrigation, all the fun stuff. April right now, growing season right around the corner. Fun time. So what is Brighter Horizon? We provide, well, essentially the service package at the moment is an automated irrigation environment control system, which essentially just controls all of the inputs that go into greenhouses, vineyards, small farms, whatever, automatically to increase the output and reduce the input cost of all of these agricultural systems. Jen, do I have control of the slides? I don't know how that works. Do I just, okay, perfect. All right, cool. So today I have a challenge question that I'm looking to get a little bit of help with. I'm trying to figure out what are the best ways to reach consumer prospects where sales funnels are the primary referrals, are primarily referrals. Sorry. Um, so just local growers in the Northern Virginia area. That's kind of the target audience at the moment. And all of the funnels are typically trust-based or, everything's I know a guy, right? So, um, the initial difficulty I'm having right now have MVP ready. Funny enough, have a few referrals for wineries right now. It's not the target audience at the moment. But I guess I'm just trying to figure out what is the best way to reach out to consumer prospects, which also aren't inherently tied to social media or whatever as well. Yeah. You hit the next one. Perfect. What is the company timeline? It was technically originally founded in October 2024. This year is the actual kind of push towards getting stuff done. Um, First pilot program begins at the end of April, trying to narrow down a final customer, the system is modular, but it's inherently built for greenhouses and high tunnel systems, which are just like plastic hoop houses essentially. Um, when did you sell your first product after launching? To be determined still. And we operate primarily in Northern Virginia, kind of Northwestern too, kind of Winchester area is kind of what I'd think of as well. That's what I got for here on the company timeline. Can we have the next slide? Thank you. So how do we generate revenue? So the system is very, very complicated. It's all driven by this little image you can see down here. It's all these environmental kind of sensors that are plugged directly into the soil, hung up, whatever. So you have soil temp or, the moisture levels of the soil, temperature, humidity, light, et cetera, CO2. Forgot the other one on there. Um, and then everything's just it's all it's a complicated architecture. So with that in mind, that requires a manual install. So I design, I go to the customer site, we kind of evaluate what they have set up, and then we build a custom solution for them and install all of it for them. So the revenue is primarily upfront cost. We also have, I'll be finishing up my accreditation with the USDA to help the potential customers get access to funding opportunities from local, state, and federal government level. And that is another value add to provide. Yeah. Could we go to the next slide? Perfect. Okay, what problems does the business actually solve, right? So it's drip irrigation systems. It removes all the external kind of pressures that can affect plant growth in general. So what does that mean in reality is that we decrease risk and increase yield. So we increase output, increase profit, and then we reduce all of that material input, whether that be cost, time, or actual physical resources put into the plants. And an additional add-on is we have unique access to government grants for um, potential customers. All right, cool. So what is the value proposition here, right? What do we offer? Uh, Kind of the entry point is automated irrigation. That is what I've identified as the peak demand in the area for okay, what needs to be done on these larger commercial systems. And then kind of all of the additional add-ons, the supporting infrastructure, whether that be power, whether that be water capture, water storage, pumps, et cetera. Those are all additional add-ons to the service, as well as environmental control. You need proper airflow, ventilation, et cetera. Kind of the ideal client is just Northern Virginia growers with a large enough scale. Because it's not economically feasible for smaller growers to implement these systems, whether that be outdoors, greenhouses, commercial or non-commercial, high tunnel wineries even, or vineyards, I guess. And those clients who are more technically inclined and looking to improve efficiency and, you know, again, increase yield, decrease risk. And what is the unique value we provide? So everything is kind of custom tailored, right? So everything's, we go out, what do you got, right? Every site evaluation is different, no one's got, there's not one standard, one size fits all. So everything's modular. That way it can be custom tailored to whatever existing setup they have. That way we can implement alongside what they currently have or provide additional solutions. And what is the differentiating factor? So this is full 1 through 4 is, I guess, a way to think about it, is that we design, we build, we install, and we provide access to grant money at the state, local, and federal level, which is yeah, I guess most of the competitors, I guess, would provide maybe 1 of the 4, but we're looking to provide the 4 out of 4 here. And who's the target audience here? So it's kind of difficult. I feel like it changes every time I think about it. Ideally, in an ideal world, you want commercial greenhouses, commercial growers that have multiple high tunnels, gardening centers, etc. But it seems that demand has kind of shifted towards wineries and kind of high net worth individuals with land. Um, and so, what companies or organizations could benefit with partnering with you? Anyone who kind of works alongside those two target audiences, right? So maybe some sort of outdoor luxury provider, especially crop provider, or gardening centers via referrals. Um, yeah. And what are the current marketing channels we're currently using? Currently have a lot of contacts with the USDA, Loudon Extension Office, and Loudon Rural Development. Talk to them at least a couple times a week each. And the main thing is just hoping these are trusted channels and trust signals for the customers. It's a very trust-based industry. So if you can demonstrate enough value to these, the idea is that it is kind of an organic growth of itself. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So, yeah. And what are the competitors? I mean, it is a tough question to answer. There are competitors, but the issue is that these are essentially scaled down, what I would qualify as like commercial systems, right? So it requires a lot of like technical expertise to build, design, and install these. So I think that kind of keeps it region locked. But there are like Colorado has a bunch of them and Pennsylvania has a bunch. But for the most part, local competitors would be DIY systems for the most part, which are usually like timer based. They don't have this kind of full complexity that you can add into it to really increase in your yield and remove a lot of your risk involved in it. Yeah, that actually covered in option B, so we're good here. So how does the company compare? Those are 1 out of the 4. We're providing 4 out of the 4, which I mentioned earlier. And again, challenge question. What are the best ways to reach customer prospects where sales funnels are primarily referrals, right? Farmers talk to farmers. Farmers aren't, if you're running a local Facebook ad, it kind of reduces that trust signal, right? So you want to kind of reach out and build a referral engine, is my current understanding of it and my implementation. So what are kind of the best ways to build that referral engine is the challenge question I'm trying to figure out.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Mike. So, hey, everybody. Um, Please, as you have questions in response to Mike's presentation, please just raise your hand. Um, and we'll start. Make your questions short. And Mike, in general, you don't have to give long answers because you can say, thank you, what a great idea. I'll consider it. And then I'll pick the next person. That'll be our little secret. Don't tell anyone else. Um, Also, you're getting the recording and the transcript, so don't worry about catching every last comment made. With that, Milani, Sandra, Steve, and Rose.
Excellent presentation. I am a vegetable gardener in my backyard, so I know firsthand the frustration of watering, especially deep in the summer. I have one question and one suggestion. Do you have any white papers about your product and how it has helped to maybe decrease the operational expense? Because water, even if it's automatic timed, if your system provides the capability through sensors, then there may be some operational savings there that you can include in your value proposition. So you could essentially say increase revenue, decrease operational expense. That would be one. And then my second question is, have you considered wineries who also have greenhouses and they are high net worth, so they meet both of those criteria that you're looking for?
Those are two great questions. Your first question, I was actually trying to figure out right before the meeting, funny enough. Yeah, so this is not kind of a new thing. The whole premise of it is built off the Dutch greenhouse system. They are large producers of for their square footage of produce. So yeah, there's plenty of information online about it. This is nothing really new. It's just kind of bringing it to the forefront, I guess, locally. Could you repeat the second question one more time? So yeah, I
Yes,
definitely prefer.
it's so you were saying you're having difficulty identifying a target customer, but you know that high net worth individuals who have wineries are a target customer, but then your product also works in greenhouses specifically. So if you could target wineries who have greenhouses and they have both the commercial winery and then also some of them do farmers market type of offerings. So you could target those individuals. And I looked it up online, and there are several that meet that criteria, so you can hone in on your target customer segment.
That's very interesting.
Excellent.
Yeah, it is a
Sandra,
question.
I'm going to
Uh,
keep the ball rolling because there are people with hands up.
okay.
Sandra,
Okay, hang on. All
you
right.
can-
Um, I have a lot of questions, but I'm going to zero in on one. What is the price range of your product installed? You implied that it's expensive, but that's a relative term.
So the biggest benefit is the cost sharing programs from the USDA, the national.
Mike, let me stop you. I asked you a specific question.
Cool. Yeah.
How much is it? Give me a price range.
It varies. It could be free for out of pocket from the consumer or the
It's
customer.
not free. Somebody's
No.
paying for
Hey,
it.
Mike,
How
I'll
much
jump
is
in. I'll jump in. When
Yeah.
we talked, your average ticket is 10 to 20 grand.
Correct.
Ah.
But that is dependent on the support infrastructure. Um, it's complicated. It depends on if they're looking for equip funding or non-equip funding. So you're looking at 5K to 15K. Perfect. I think that helps out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good. And you can come back with more questions, Sandra.
Okay.
Steve and then Rose.
Yeah, my question was kind of taken off my comment. Okay, you're a smaller company. You're trying to target high income consumers. And yeah, I think there's a market there because based on what I'm seeing in the Middle East, I think we're going to get slammed with very rising food costs this September, October, November. I think it's going to be a very ugly fall coming up. And even the high income people are like, now maybe I can grow tomatoes in the backyard. Maybe I can grow zucchini. Maybe I can grow lettuce, et cetera, et cetera. They've got this a lot of land in North Arlington, McLean, Vienna, Falls Church, whatever. And I'm thinking, you don't have a sales force. You don't have a relationship with these people. You know, there are a lot of landscapers who do. I'm thinking to take your product, sell it to the landscapers for resale, use them as resellers, and they're doing your installation, following the instructions, etc. It may get you out of, not only may get you a penetration in the high income world, but it might also get you around having to hire a heck of a lot of labor and a huge sales force. That's what I'm thinking.
I think it's really interesting. That's a good thing to think about. Currently,
Yeah.
it's probably a little overcomplicated, so I could dumb it down, like I could simplify it for other people to install it in order to scale.
You can figure that out later, but you asked about referral networks and the folks who are providing the landscaping and lawn care
Oh, interesting.
for the larger properties, because this, the properties are the farming or planting areas need to be 5+ acres, in your opinion, Mike? I'm asking this just to give a size dimension, yeah?
Yes, that is the typical.
Okay, so it's not in my backyard. So getting a referral network of folks who garden and landscape for those high net worth individuals with those size properties is a great thought, Steve. Up to Rose, then we'll go to Jen and Tom and Seaman.
Thank you for presenting. Great job. I think it is interesting. I would have never seen the connection that you need referral engine and it has to be trust-based. I'm a CPA, we work very much the same way. I'm curious, is there anywhere, what I've found is like you have to physically, like you said, not Facebook ads, you have to physically like meet a person to start building that trust and have the repeat exposure. Is there anywhere where people are already like these ideal consumer prospects are aggregating? Like, are there certain farmers markets that you could start being a friendly face at? Like, they're obviously busy selling too, don't be annoying. But are there things where people are already coming together on a schedule and you need to insert yourself to start being a part of gatherings?
Yeah, it was a great question. I haven't had too much luck. I go to the farmers markets every weekend. It's kind of funny. Everyone who has product right now is growing out of growing season, so they already have these kind of automated greenhouse systems. So, not the exact target audience I'm looking for, but it's a great insight to have.
Yeah, okay, interesting.
Jen.
Thank you. I'm going to drop my thought in chat. Virginia has a cooperative extension where you can go and get lists of high tunnel and specialty crop operations. You may know about that. If not, I'm putting it in chat. This was not out of my brain. This is from AI. So just full disclosure, it's not like I have random knowledge of gardens and blah, blah, blah. But I think looking at that would be great. And just one other thought building on Milani's point, which I don't know that you actually came back to, whether it's white papers or whether it's certifications you can provide around water conservation, or whether it's teaching or speaking in some of the classes in the universities in the area, there is something about credibility to incorporate into being more visible and being a trusted advisor. So those are just some thoughts, and writing a white paper is a great way to do that. So if you haven't done that yet, I would recommend that for sure.
Fantastic. Tom.
Yeah, good presentation. I think there's a couple quick thoughts. Number one, I heard a lot about, some of your target customer market areas and the subjects of your main customers. What I didn't hear is potentially like the 55 and over communities. Like maybe try to target some of the regional 55 and over communities, the new developments that are being built. There could be a good opportunity that can help reduce their costs, their maintenance costs. It may actually make it more competitive for people to move in if they're not paying as much of a water bill. So there may be a nice little play there. And then obviously, there's a lot of people shifting from large homes to 55s and over in the Northern Virginia area. John, did you want to jump in on something there?
Not I, no,
Okay.
sir. No, no.
It was a facial reaction.
When I get to over 55, I'll look for one of those communities.
Yeah, exactly. At point two, I noticed on your website you talk a little bit about your technology your greenhouse control hub and monitoring dashboard, that may be a nice differentiator depending on how you're organizing that and how you're building that out. You may want to put some metrics around that in your overall pitch if you don't already have it as part of your package offering. That could help differentiate yourself from the rest of the pack. And then number three, it maybe capture some metrics. And I know it's a little early in the process, but have some kind of return on investment calculator. You have an upfront price of 5 to 15K that you were talking about for an installation. Well, what's the payback? What's the estimated payback based on the size of the property, heat conditions, weather conditions, and then they can run in different variables and it can show them that, hey, it's going to save them money in the long run. That's it.
Great.
Over.
Yep. Seaman, then AJ.
Thank you. A great presentation. I had actually a question in the chat, way up there. The first question was, what's an average cost per acre? If you don't have it, let's go figure it out. I think it will be a great idea if you're pitching someone and if they keep asking questions so you know what the cost going to come out, right? The second question is, it's not a question, it's an idea for the target customer is, I know Virginia Tech does their own farming and every food is served and they feel confident that they have the only university in Virginia who bring their own produce to the school. Yes, so you need to probably go talk to them. You might be, the next school is, who's the next one to them? James Madison is there, UVA is gonna be there. They're all research projects. So go talk to them. Maybe you can partner up with them from a research and then sales side. So that's what I have to say.
Excellent.
I'm in contact them right now. Yeah, it was a great. Well, no, it's interesting. Took me a while to figure that out, but you have that figured out already.
AJ, then James, then Jen again. AJ, you're on mute, sir.
There we go. Better? I like your presentation, Mike. Couple of suggestions I have, and I mean, like Steve was suggesting earlier, how about building some kind of a power team with realtors because they are involved in the houses and commercial real estate agents. Then HOAs could be another one because I see if your average ticket is about $4,000 to $5,000 or even $5,000, a single family home, it costs to put a sprinkler system today around the same price, So maybe you can think about scaling down to capture bigger pie of a market. And then even commercial management companies, these could be another affiliations because I'm in a commercial building. We have a management company and they bring in, these kind of services. And then also, as Simon mentioned, universities, there are some agriculture departments like if you look at, I know it's on the West Coast, University of California, Davis, UC Davis, they have a big agriculture department and they do bring in the locally grown food to their whatever, and that area is full of irrigation system. So maybe it may be worth getting a few ideas from there and see how you can implement into what you are providing. Thank you.
Good. James, and then Jen.
I'll try and get this in before the drilling starts again. Mike, great stuff. Just let me clarify a couple of things. What does your installed base look like right now in terms of customers? Like how many do you have?
So I've done a couple demos right now. I'm working on getting a pilot program. I'm cleaning up kind of none at the moment, I guess is a better way to put it. Working on a pilot program for next week.
All right, so real early stage, right? We're past the idea stage. So there's a couple of things, and this could be semantics. I think you've got to watch when you talk about sales funnel and then you mix that with the referrals. Referrals isn't a sales funnel. Referrals is a network, right? And so how you kind of go after that, I think is kind of important. the reason I was asking about installed base is that that is probably going to be your fastest route to new sales, right? Is asking them for referrals, but doing it very intentionally, not just kind of matter of fact. I think that, there's definitely a couple of places, and Jen mentioned one. There's another bureau where you may have actually speaking opportunities. So I think there's an education piece, maybe this that you might want to look at to get out there. I think the white paper idea is great. I wouldn't give up totally on the farmers market, right? I still think it's a good way to be seen and get around and get people to know you. If this is a big trust factor, then just shaking hands with people is not a waste of time. Okay. So I think there's challenges in all of this for sure. And I think part of this also is like growing season, right? And so your timing in all of this is like getting people ready for the next growing season, I would think, potentially, is kind of where you're trying to kind of move this to, or is that completely wrong?
So the goal is, because real growing season technically starts in like 2 weeks. So the goal is to rapidly do customer acquisition in time for this growing season.
So 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep.
All right. That's all I got, brother. That's all I got. I'll think of some more.
A little optimistic. I realize that.
No, it's okay.
Huh.
No.
Takes time, man. Jen.
Yeah.
Sure, just two specific companies that I'm happy to connect you with. JK Moving has JK Farms, where they do lots of planting and growing, and the food from that goes to food banks locally. So I put a link to that in chat. And the other is 4P Foods, which is a nice one-to-many model. So they work with farmers all over the region, bring that produce in, and they do sort of a delivery service to consumers. So I think finding someone who is already able to reach and scale farmers, etc., would be a great place to start, because that could also be an added benefit for someone to be able to provide to their network. So just something to think about. I'll put some more thoughts in here, but I can make introductions to both of those.
Perfect. Thank you.
Nicole, then AJ.
Good morning. Thank you. Hi, Mike. So I want to say, first of all, I like your website. I think you've done a really good job. A lot of the commentary that's been provided is actually answered on your site. So good job there. But one thing I would say is that you don't have the user story. So what you do have is kind of what you do, but I think someone else mentioned this, like you don't have the why or the what's in it for me. So to get started with that, just help people visualize what it is that they're getting from you. So imagine that la 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 la, and then finish that sentence. And that might help them to really visualize what it is you do, how you bring value to the table. And then as far as extending your reach and your partnerships and kind of getting this out there, I used to work in the chemical fertilizer realm in the corporate space. But one thing you may want to consider doing is partnering up with those types of businesses in the organic space. And seeing if, maybe they can offer you a customer list or just take you to some of their, there's always conferences and stuff going on. So get in those and you'll start meeting people, no problem. So good luck to you.
Thank you so much. That's very helpful.
Good.
I'm missing that. Yeah.
And welcome back, Nicole, 2 weeks in a row. Love it. It's awesome. AJ, then Seaman, then Sandra.
All right. So another thing which I'm thinking about, see, when you go see them, like prepare something like you might already have, but I'm just sharing with you. I did not have a chance to look at your website. Prepare something like a cheat sheet and turn that into something like a video, and that's what shows them the money, the benefits, and how it helps the environment. We're all looking for it. And then you leave something there, physical, like a coffee mug, that turns into your digital message. And the beauty is when they use it, they see it. And when they see it, they think about you. And when they think about you, you have a higher chance of customer conversion. So just, my 2 cents.
Yeah, no, it was kind of a dumb feature I was going to provide, but I was just going to do a 3D print of their entire land and just kind of
Yeah.
give it a little logo of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Seaman,
Yeah, three things I'm gonna say ideas. One is maybe if you have time on one weekend, start driving down U7 Winchester, go towards Route 9, Route 15. There are a lot of land down there. Maybe start talking, leaving the flyers with them, have a discussion. That's number one. Number two, if you have never done a MVP or proof of concept yet, I have a friend of mine. He lives on Route 15, close to Lavitz. He has about 3 to 4 acre land, just idle, just nothing going on, but he's considering it. So if you want, I can talk to him. You can use maybe 1 acre or acre and a half as a proof of concept. Start as AJ said, start recording day one. This is system you put it in. A couple of weeks later, this is growing. So you have the whole end-to-end user story built in there. If they agrees, you agree, sign agreement, I can maybe hook you up with him and go from there. I mean, you have a MVP. That's my idea for that one. And let me know if you need to do that. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sandra, then John.
Okay. I like for things to be simple, and I think most humans do. So I would like for you right now, if you are willing, to pretend like I'm 10 years old. I don't know anything about farming. And in 2 sentences, explain to me what problem you solve.
Timer and manual irrigation is reactive. Sensors are proactive. Better output. Just trying to keep that very reduced input, greater output.
Okay, you want to try again? Because I'm 10. I don't know about inputs and outputs.
You're right. You're right. You can go away for the weekend without worrying about your plants and your crops.
Warmer.
Okay.
That's cool. I'm going to jump over to John Norse. Norse, why didn't you think of that?
Actually, Sandra beat me to my question. My comment was going to be, I need to understand this more simply. And I think if you create some kind of video or marketing piece that's like, you have land, you have to water it, you use my system, this is what happens. Because like a 4 slide presentation, literally, because I don't work in this field, but I'm puzzled. I understand it to a certain degree, but I don't. And I know your target audience should understand it. So maybe you don't have to dummy it down to the average consumer like me. But keeping things simple is where success is. And the more complicated something gets and the less I understand it, the less I'm going to do business because I don't know what I'm doing. Now, maybe your clients clearly understand the benefits, but I think you have to laser in more on what is the benefit? What is it? Like Sandra said, what's the problem you're truly solving? What is more efficient water use, more yield from your crops? What is it? What is it that you're going to do that ultimately, like our firm, we say we take the stress out of Medicare because it's a stressful transaction. So we're targeting one emotion of all the things that could happen. I'm saying for you, is it like work with me, higher yield, work with me, less waste, work with me, I don't know, healthier, bigger fruit. I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
I think it's really interesting. From my point of view, the irrigation is just the entry point, and it's just to reduce the manual input and make it easier for everyone. The bread and butter at the end of the day is like environment control, all of these factors that help plant growth. But I guess, yeah, I was
So which one gets you in the door, Mike? That's what you have to ask.
irrigation. I need to simplify that. Yeah.
You got to get in the door because you can't sell me level 2 or project 2 if I don't sign up for project 1.
You're 100% right. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Jen, then AJ.
Sure. John sort of stole my talking point, but I'm going to put a specific link in chat. I've used this before for specific clients. There are video brochures, so you can have a mail piece with a video in it. It would be great for you to be able to talk about, given the inconsistency and changes in weather, given the unpredictability, especially even up here with rain, we've had serious droughts, right? That's one of the core messages that I would consider. But I think, to Sandra's point, keeping it simple, doing something like this that could be a video leave behind. I think when you do your first pilot, be very intentional about making sure they'll let you do video and getting a testimonial, and maybe you provide the system at a discount. You can think about that. I don't think it's ever good to provide stuff for free, but I would just think through, as a case study client, there might be a way to get them to say yes to working with you faster if there's something in it for them, but there also needs to be something in it for you.
Perfect.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah, so another suggestion, considering the current situation, political situation in the country, finding the workers as well as the labor cost. I think these are 2 points you can also add to your benefit statement or the value proposition.
I think it's really interesting. I guess from my point of view, I figured kind of the opposite, where you don't want to like push. I don't know. It's interesting. You don't want to be like, oh, we're automating everything, because then people get scared of automation. I don't know. It's interesting.
No, they do get scared of automation. I agree with you. I'm an automation guy. That's what my background, that's my experience and all that stuff. But automation, intelligence, but still you have to have some kind of your intellectual ability to monitor it and so on and so forth. So it transforms into the labor also. But the bottom line is, as a business, I don't care. I care about, I'm just talking in general, the businesses, all these businesses, the corporate, they care about money. They will sell everything. They will outsource the crap to other countries. They will outsource manufacturing to other countries. How do they care? Nobody cares, right?
Sure.
When it comes, even the robotics, we had last time the presentation, this guy's talking about robotics. It does the same thing, right? But it's the nature of the beast we are in. You want to survive, you have to do it.
I have a follow-up to that, if you don't mind, real quick. Is that I'm trying to position it not to be like smart. I'm trying to avoid using the cloud. Everything's land-based, LAN, local area network, to keep away from the whole automation side, because I feel like that usually scares people off. It's smart, but not smart, right?
It depends which angle you're looking from.
I'm going to jump in and recognize some other people, but I do want to add to that 4-slideshow referred to earlier. The 5th slide of the homeowner who is your target audience out in that estate property with 10 acres devoted to farming. They're on the beach somewhere or at their second or third home because they're not in Virginia, while your product is watering and environmentally taking care of conditions in Virginia. That slide is critical to your message. Over to John Norse, then Nicole.
Yeah. So, Mike, your product's kind of like a Nest or a remote thermostat, right? I can control it from anywhere. Am I correct in drawing that comparison?
No, it is all entirely, it is a travel router that controls everything. So it's separate from the internet, but it's kind of like its own internet. You can't connect to it from the outside.
Okay, so I can't be on a beach in Antigua and control my irrigation, or can I?
I could set it up like that. I didn't think of it like that, but I thought it was.
So my
Yeah.
my question to you is, we've all, not me, other people have thrown out target audiences or potential. Have you actually done one of two things? Have you spoken to anybody about your product, and what feedback have you gotten back? And then number two, have you identified those prospects, and whether it's on a piece of paper, whatever, thought about what their view of you is, what their problem is, and can you fix it? Like, you start really understanding, like, you have to understand your client. Like, you have to really go, where's their pain point? Is it cost? Is it efficiency? Is it crop yield? Is it hassle factor? What are you do? What is the core that you're, like, the recreational farmer? What are you helping me do that I go, man, it's a no-brainer. I'm going to do business with this guy. you have to get to that point. I just don't, in listening to you, I'm not sure you understand your customer or potential customers well enough to have a value proposition. Forget cost. It's about a value. Remember, cost is what you pay, value is what you get. So if I say, I don't care, it's 100,000, but it's going to do amazing things, I'll pay you 100 grand. It's not the cost. It's what value you bring to solving problems. And I just think you need to spend time on that.
I think you're right. I think
Good thoughts. Good thoughts. Nicole.
Okay, so I came up with more stuff I forgot to say. I'm in digital transformation, so that's ideation, implementation, and automation. Those are the things I specialize in. For you, what caught me on your website was what you just got done talking about, and that is you said you serve the offline. You create this whole thing so that it works and functions offline. That is the key, I think, to gaining a connection with others, because now you're talking about technical independence, you're talking about offline utility, you're talking about even connecting to the Web3 space where they're more interested in the metrics behind the thing. Like you could get great partners out there. I've seen that happen with agriculture. So that's really, I think, changed that wording up a little bit, what I saw on your website. You I'm trying to find it really quick. But you mentioned something specifically, change that to offline support, edge devices. You're talking AI now. A lot of private systems are being created. So if it develops, if that's something that you're interested in, there's a lot of partners out there for you. We could connect, I think, and talk a lot about this even more. So I'd love to do that with you.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm going to bring this group session, the Q&A session, to a close. And I'd like to give a really big round of applause to each of you, but first and foremost to Mike Souls for putting up with us. Okay, and for standing up, presenting, and listening to suggestions, introductions. There was a lot of meat to digest, Mike. So you'll be getting stuff soon. So our last question to every presenter is the following. What else can our 1 Million Cups community help you with today?
I mean, you guys just provided, all of you that raised the questions provided amazing feedback. So I really appreciate all of that. Kind of hard to ask for more at the moment. It is a great jumping off point and things to think about. So I really do appreciate the input.
Well, the key is for you to keep coming back on a regular basis. And of course, you'll be invited back to present in 90 or so days so that we know more about your progress. So thank you very, very much. I'm ready now. We can turn it back to Jen.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Mike, for joining us. If you are interested in presenting, I have bad news. We're booked for the rest of April, but don't worry, we have lots of space in May. This is all about making this easy for you to get feedback. Mike is in the early stages of his business. If you're in your business and you want to pivot, come here. If you want some feedback, come here. This is all about building community relationships and helping your business succeed. You can scan that QR code to apply. You'll see that pop up in the next couple of slides too. Next slide. We do have a lot of events that we recommend. Again, it's all about being seen and building relationships. One of the organizers, I can probably do it myself. I'll drop these links in chat. If you are interested, please check it out. I'm also putting in chat our notes from chat. So if you wanted to grab those or download those, get contact information, you can. Again, check out the Central Fairfax Chamber website. That's the QR code to their events page there. Fantastic list of events. They do a great job of consolidating everything from the area. Next slide. Dr. Sudha Kumar has confirmed for next week. And then after that, many of you will recognize Prabmeet's name. She is coming back to give us an update on how things are going since we last met and gave her lots of ideas and feedback. We do have Thomas. Thanks for joining us today. He will be presenting in May. So May 6th will be in person and virtual. So it'll be a hybrid meeting. If you're looking to present, again, look out to May and June. If you go to the next slide, we do have some people in the pipeline. So the sooner you get your application in, the sooner we can schedule you. We are on YouTube, X, LinkedIn, and Facebook. You can scan that QR code and also follow us on social. One thing I'll point out is all of our presenters, their videos go on YouTube. So if you're considering this, you can go check out the videos on YouTube, see how it went, see what they talked about. I don't know about you, but every time we meet each week, I learn something new, even though I'm not necessarily the one presenting. So you really can learn a lot by attending. Next slide. We are thrilled you all came here today and spent your morning with us. Do consider inviting a friend, phone a friend, have them join virtually. We meet next 2 weeks are virtual. We love seeing familiar faces. Thank you, Sandra, for joining us again. Thank you to all the people who continue to come back. Please do so. This really is all about community. And then when we meet in person, it's even more fun. So with that, I'm going to stop recording on Facebook. Thank you again, Mike. Really great job presenting. We were thrilled to have you here. We're so excited for you, and whatever we can do to help, we will continue to come back and meet.